Welcome to episode 67 of the S&D Podcast Show on the Schmuck Sports Network. And what's going on this week?
Not much. How's it going, Steve? A lot of fun sports happened last week and this week coming up. March Madness just started today. Big news in Nick land, and the Nets are playing red hot.
Not only big news, but they're hot.
They're hot. That's the first time all season we get to talk about them positively, which is a nice positive for once and not have to dog them out every week. So that's definitely a positive. Before we forget, NFL free agency is still going on right now. A lot of talk with the Jets, a lot of rumors with the Jets, so let's see what happens with them with Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick. Unfortunately, the Giants lost Justin Tuck to free agency to the Raiders. Part of business. It sucks. Funny how we mentioned it with Joe last week.
Don't forget what he said. 10 years from now, we're interviewing him on The Fan.
Yeah.
That we get to ask him how much he regretted going to Oakland.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's sad to say, but honestly, I'm happy with the moves the Giants have made. Our secondary is 100 times better than it was the last 20 years, per se. So that's definitely going to help out our weak defensive line coming out to next season.
The best part about it, you and I were talking about it yesterday, we're signing all these cornerbacks and defensive backs, and nobody talks about who was probably the best player on the team last year, who arguably had the quietest season in Prince.
Yeah, exactly. So Prince is able to move to the second cornerback position because you're paying.
Safe to say Rogers Cromartie is going to be the.
Yeah,
I saw someone had a tweet, and of course it was a da-da-da tweet. This girl tweeted out, "I hope the Giant locker room's big enough for all of Cromartie's kids."
Wrong one.
I had to mention that because I saw it, and
yikes! All right,
you're gonna make jokes. At least get the guy right.
Yeah, but they are related, though, right? I think they're related to some facet of it.
I'll tell you who the happiest person is that he signed his intro.
Oh yeah, 100%.
See the tweets and the
intro role has been amazing. You could tell it's becoming his defense.
Oh yeah, they played together in the Super Bowl. Remember that in Arizona, so they do know each other.
The one thing that does scare me though is it's his third team and fourth team in his whole career.
Well, I found out that the Giants do have an out after year one.
Okay.
There is an out after year one because then it jumps from like whatever they're like the 12 that they're paying him this year to like 16.
Oh God.
So there is an out for next year with him.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, let's see what happens in the season.
Yeah. Let's get to camp first. How about that?
Yeah.
First off, the draft.
Oh yeah. Well, I can't wait for that show.
Make sure to look out for next month our NFL draft preview. I know Dan and I are both in the works of getting some guests on. But make sure to look out for that within the next month. We also have another huge major announcement, but we will get to that much later in the show.
That much later for the show. Stop rushing it.
I'm not rushing it. I'm just telling you to listen up so that you'll hear it. And also listen up for Dani from Blue Line Station joining us again to talk about the Rangers. Playoffs coming up. Are they going to be able to keep the spot? Are they going to be able to make it?
I think so.
I don't know. They're getting cold. It's getting tricky.
Hey, they scored 8 goals the other night. So at the right time. So they're going to be fine.
So right now, let's go play a little Freak Show by Division 1.1, and we'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to the S&D Podcast. You just listened to Freak Show by Division 1.1. We're going to start the show off with a little Brooklyn Nets basketball, Steve. They have won 8 of the last 10 games in the month of March right now. They're just playing red hot. They are 2.5 games away from the Toronto Raptors. I can't believe the Raptors are still holding them off. That's how good the Nets have been playing since the All-Star break.
Yeah, but I also got to give credit to the Raptors for...
Oh, absolutely. The Raptors have been playing just as well, and it's really, really awesome to see how Nets are just slowly picking it up. Remember how months ago, every month we were talking about once D. Will starts going, the Nets are going to get going? Well, that's the case right now. D. Will is actually carrying the Nets, and he's just playing just awesome right now. He's distributing the ball. He's making key shots at the right time. Just getting timely hoops from everybody right now. Unfortunately, Kevin Garnett's not playing right now, but it really doesn't matter. The Nets are just playing all out right now, and it's really great to see. And the rest of the month, let's see. They have Boston on Friday night on the 21st. Then they're at Dallas on the 23rd. New Orleans on the 24th. Charlotte again. They play Charlotte again on the 26th on the road. So they're in a little little road trip until next time we record. And they play Cleveland without Kyrie Irving, and then they play Minnesota. So the Nets.
We said that a lot, by the way.
What?
No Kyrie Irving.
Oh yeah, he's becoming very injury prone. It's really sad to see that Grandpa Drew is always hurt. Sad to say. But the Nets, they can create their own destiny after starting that very poor start they had under the Jason Kidd tutelage of his young coaching career. What are you taking away out of the Nets right now?
That Brook Lopez is still leading their team in points per minute.
As sad that may seem, it really goes to show how they are being a team right now, and that any given night, a particular guy is going to be able to go off. So it's really nice to see the Nets are still playing really hot right now and contributing to everything possibly. And like I said, they won 8 of the last 10 games coming out of the break. So you got to tip your hat to them. And I think they're going to, like I said, at the All-Star break, they're going to find a way to win the division. And I think they're going to find a way to pull it off.
It's going to be interesting.
And they did beat Toronto. Remember we joked around that the only team that's beaten the Nets in the second half so far has been Toronto.
That's right.
They finally beaten them. So that's honestly great news for any net and net fan.
You know what? A lot of credit goes to Toronto, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A lot of credit goes to them.
They were the last place team last year.
Oh, yeah. And not just that, but the fact that they're still fighting and they're still ahead of them.
Yeah. And it's funny because they wanted the tank this year, too.
Did they? They were one of the 30 teams that wanted the tank?
They wanted the tank this year, too. And
I think the Pacers are the only team that came out and said they didn't want to tank this year.
Well, the Heat, too.
Well, the Heat are a given because...
Yeah. It's funny. The 76ers have eliminated it already with their 21-game losing streak.
22, if I remember correctly.
Well, it's going to be 22 after tomorrow. Hopefully.
No, I think it was 22 after yesterday.
Oh. So 23. It's either 22 or 23 games.
You know what's going to happen. They're not getting the first pick.
Yeah, they're going to lose it.
First off,
spite.
Right now the Bucks have more ping pong balls. Milwaukee Bucks have more ping pong balls right now.
Yeah.
So you have that. I don't know. But still, I just don't see it. It's just, they don't deserve it.
No, they don't deserve it. They clearly tanked it. And that just doesn't help the NBA product.
I like the lottery idea because of the fact that you can't tank.
Yeah.
And still, it gives you the better odds.
Yeah. But not necessarily you're going to win it.
Not a lot of times it happens. Which I also agreed with the Grantland idea of the round-robin draft order. Where basically, let's say this year was the last one. So the 76ers end up with the first pick this year. Next year they have the second pick. The following year they have the third pick. And then whoever's got the last pick becomes the first pick.
Gotcha.
And it just keeps going around in a circle.
Gotcha.
So everybody will, each year you know what number pick you're going to have, but you're not in the same spot every year. You can't tank it because it doesn't, no matter what, your draft spot's set.
I don't like that. It has to be like lottery teams. So you can't have the Miami Heat picking first overall.
I like Devin Roberts' idea, personally.
When that was?
Take all the teams that don't make the playoffs and make a playoff bracket out of it. Winner gets the first pick.
Okay, that could work too.
NBA makes money.
Yeah.
And all those teams get to play.
Okay.
You get a playoff. You're basically playing to get the first pick.
But these players are not going to really care about which team's going to get the first pick overall, so some money has to be thrown around for that.
Well, yeah, of course the players have to get paid, but still a better idea than just letting every team tank every year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bad habit that the NBA has gotten into.
It's upsetting to watch.
It really is upsetting, and it hurts pure basketball fans. Like, just in general, a lot of people don't care about the product that's on the court a lot, especially with the All-Stars aligning together and everything like that. It's definitely doesn't help the game at all.
It was Minnesota's governor, I believe it was, that tweeted out about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. He tweeted out that if the NBA were to just take like 5 or 6 franchises and just lose them,
it'd be okay.
Nobody would notice.
No one would. No, and Timberwolves would be one of them. But even
the rest of the tweet had the words, the only thing that people would notice is the raise in crime rate. But, of course, he apologized for that one. Yeah, not exactly one thing you should be saying, especially a governor. Huh. But anyhow.
Anyway.
But he was right, though.
About the 4 teams, Steve, yes.
Yeah, that part, yeah. Well, yeah, you know what I meant. He is right. You take out teams like the 76ers, the T-Wolves, Toronto. Nobody would notice.
And the sad thing about the 76ers, they have a couple young players. One of them got a triple-double against the Knicks, and they still lost. Michael Carter, the hyphen.
He also took a shot. There's a video online, the game, I think it was the other night, where instead of actually shooting it, he did one of those old school, just put the ball behind your head and fling it at the hoops.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Right now, I feel terrible.
You know who I feel great for is Evan Turner.
Yeah.
Traded to Indianapolis.
Yeah, lucky him.
They got out.
Anyway, there's a big story going on in New York City right now. And in
7-game winning streak.
7-game winning streak. New York Knicks finally played a big, meaningful game last night against a team above 500. Let's be fair about that. And they came in the first game with Phil Jackson being the president and the president of player operations for your New York Knicks. They looked pretty damn good last night. I'm not gonna lie, against the heavily favored Indiana Pacers. The Knicks played really well. They just got to keep pacing well. Unfortunately, the Hawks aren't losing anytime soon. They just try to get into the playoff push right now.
I need one of those teams above the Hawks to lose, because the Hawks are just too hot to the point where you need one of the teams above the Hawks to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. Since the third, the Knicks are on that 7-game winning streak after that 8-game losing streak that we mentioned. So, like I've said,
we knew it.
This year, the Knicks are very hot and cold, up and down, left and right. They're finally playing like a unit that made it to the 2nd seed last year in the playoffs, finally.
This is typical NBA. Teams make runs. It's just like a regular game.
It's a playoff push for the Knicks right now, with the remaining couple weeks left in the regular season. It's now or never for the Knicks to make the playoffs. And it's really going to be interesting, maybe with new blood pumping with Phil Jackson, feeding new information and helping out the Knicks. Maybe the Knicks make this playoff run. I'm not saying they're going to advance in the first round because, let's face it, in a 7-game series against the Pacers or the Heat right now this season, it's not going to be looking pretty at all. And honestly,
with the way those teams are playing, if the Knicks played like they played last night and played the Pacers in the first round,
the Knicks would still lose.
At least you'll see a fight.
Yeah, that would be nice, but you never know. But
that's all you want. As an 8 seed, you want to see a fight. Like last year, Milwaukee gave Miami what they can handle, even though I think it ended in 5. And of course, Milwaukee talked before the game and said they would win, but whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's just, especially with like we mentioned this whole entire season, we don't have a draft pick. The Knicks don't have a draft pick. I'm sorry, the Knicks don't have a draft pick. And what it really happens is that since the Knicks don't have a draft pick, they need to make the playoffs because
you don't want to give a lottery pick.
Yeah, they don't want to give up a lottery pick. That would suck. So it's going to be interesting to see what Phil Jackson does, being the president of the New York Knicks.
Yeah, the problem is that right now they have Philly as their next game, so 8 because they don't win.
Oh yeah, but this could be a total Knick letdown. I could totally see it being a letdown.
That's
the
game.
I could see the Knicks losing their streak right then and there to the 76ers, who have lost over 20 games in a row. How does that even happen? It's just beyond me.
Okay, and then the next game is another team they never played well against. It's Cleveland.
It's Cleveland, but it's without Kyrie Irving, who kills the Knicks.
Great, and then after that, they go on that West Coast trip versus all those teams that can't win.
Oh, well, they do play. They're going to lose their losing streak to the Golden State Warriors. Right? They have the Golden State.
They do go to Golden State, but the thing is that when was the last time they won in Sacramento?
Right. the Sacramento's not good either. So the Knicks have the.
But we said that they lost to Sacramento in Sacramento last year, and the Knicks were the number 2 seed in the East.
That's right. That was a bad game. I remember that game. The Knicks
have always been a team that at some points they play over their competition, but some points they play under their competition.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me about that trip, because they're going to the Lakers. Even Kobe, and they released their team photo today. Kobe just sat there, wasn't even like looking at the camera. Like he's like, whatever, I'm done. I'm not playing anyway.
Yeah, it is what it is. LA is a disaster. Like I said, I never liked Coach D'Antoni, and granted, a lot of players are hurt this year for him, but it's just a cluster. It's just a cluster. He doesn't have his mojo anymore, and obviously losing Kobe obviously hurts any team since we all know Kobe's top 10 NBA player of all time, and we know what he brings to the table. So
Our good friend Adam Rank, who is a big Laker fan,
Yeah.
tweeted out last night during the Lakers-Spurs game, at least the Spurs go through the indignity of playing their stars against us, so the season isn't a total loss.
that's a nice comedy tweet out of Adam, right there. It's just ugh. They're one team sadder than the Knicks, and
Are they?
yeah, they were.
Have you watched the 76ers?
Well, I'm talking about.
Oh, you mean like expectation going into the season?
Yeah, bingo. It's just sad. Anyway, let's go Knicks. Let's go Brooklyn. Let's keep it up. Let's have that.
Let's get a second round matchup together.
Yeah, your lips to God's ears. But anyway, hopefully the Knicks keep on playing hard. That's what our biggest problem was when they were in that big, deep losing streak right there, and it was just no heart. They're looking like the team from last year. I know it might be a little too late, but at least they're finally playing that, and then they could boost it up for next season. Maybe we get a new coach or something like that. So hopefully the Knicks and Nets keep it up, and they go on to a deep playoff runs. That would be nice to see. Until next week, go Knicks and Nets.
So, but while we're talking
okay.
basketball,
Still talk
Knicks
about-
and Nets, we'll talk
Okay.
NBA now a little bit. Adam Silver's the new commissioner.
Okay.
First off, one thing I do kind of agree with is the raising of the age limit,
I absolutely agree.
because I'm sick and tired of watching people basically go to school, because the players that are one and done,
they're done.
colleges know they don't care.
No.
They give them easy. They probably take gym classes.
They definitely do. And honestly, I did not watch one college basketball game this whole entire season.
Cared. You knew if you watch them, you connect to a player, they're going pro next year anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And it hurts the game of NBA as well. There's, like we mentioned billions of times, there's only that rare breed of LeBrons and Kobe's and Kevin Garnett's and on and on and on. But there's also a list of players that we can mention that came straight from high school or 1 year in college and completely dud out and do nothing with their lives, unfortunately. So I think college basketball players should find a way, or another thing I've heard, that they make the D League more. You have to play in the D League.
Make it a minor league.
And make it a minor league system.
If
and
you're
make
one
it
of-
officially a minor league system.
Right.
Because everybody knows it's a minor league system, but make it a little bit more a minor league. Because obviously I'm not saying college is for everybody. We all know that. But especially for those players who do not want to go to college, they should be able to go to the D League, learn valuable lessons, boom, and then bang, they'll be in the NBA next season.
Look at Chris Smith.
Exactly like Chris Smith. Prime example.
But then again, he couldn't succeed in the D League.
No, unfortunately.
So.
But it's okay. He's a hard player, and he'll figure something out. He's a smart guy.
The other rule change that they want to make. First off, before we move on from that rule change, what would you make the limit? 2 years?
2 years. 2 years.
2 year minimum?
Yeah, something like that. It should be a 2 year, like what the NFL does. I think what the NFL does is perfect. To be honest.
Well,
with
you get 3 years, isn't it? Isn't it 3 years?
Probably
College?
3 years, but with the NBA, since it's a little bit different, I say 2 years would be perfect for the NBA. I just think with all these players rushing, it really should honestly.
They knew when they made the rule 1 year guarantee, there would be hundreds of players that go to college and just leave.
I'm not Connecticut. Kentucky.
Yeah.
Example.
What do they every year have a new 5?
They have a new 5 every year. It's like, all right. It's like, like how if I was a Kentucky fan, I would be like, this is like pointless. Why would? Obviously, they're such a storied school that a lot of people will watch them regardless through thick and thin. But sometimes it's just, jeez, like, all right, let's try to win a championship, but they never do.
Yeah.
So it's really hurting the college game more than the NBA as well. That definitely would help out the college game.
Okay, the other rule I heard about this week is the advertisement on jerseys. Are you going to buy the big Toyota thing and put it over in New York or in your jersey?
Well,
or Cablevision because, Dolan owns
it
them?
would be Cablevision. But,
or Chase.
Oh, of course. We can't forget Chase. The Knicks. Honestly, it's a double-edged sword. Obviously, it's a great... I would want something what the NFL has like on their practice jerseys, like little patches on the side. That'd be cool. I don't want them looking like a NASCAR car. You know?
or the European hockey leagues.
European hockey leagues and soccer for that.
That's right. That's true.
It really is good for advertising, and you're gonna get extra money from the team. So it can't hurt anybody not wanting to get a little bit more money when they can. But I hope they don't make it like too absurd. They don't look like a NASCAR or, like I mentioned, just a big running billboard. Even though most of them are already with tattoos and everything like that. But honestly, it is what it is. I have no control over it. It would be what it is. But honestly, I hope that they don't go overboard with it. Like one prime sponsor for each team would be perfect.
As long as you don't put it on the court. One thing I don't like is when you watch European hockey leagues,
okay,
the entire ice is an advertisement. Okay,
fair enough.
Okay? The entire ice and each circle has its own advertisement.
Okay.
Each face-off dot has a circle, has an advertisement. Basically, every inch of ice has an advertisement on it that they could fit.
Well, you can tell already with the Knicks and a bunch of logos. They are
the one logo on the court, fine. You want to have your court have a sponsor? You know, like at the Garden, I think they have a Chase logo on the court and have a sponsor for the court. Fine. But don't put Chase, Cablevision, Advil, Pepsi, Sprite. Sorry, Sprites for basketball.
I know NBA has. The Knicks have a couple of Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy sponsorships on the floor, on the bench side. So they're already starting to have a few.
It's just I don't want them to go overboard.
Of course.
Like, could only have so much. Like the WNBA has that one logo across the top of it, over their name. That's enough.
Yeah, that's enough.
That's all you need. Or if you want to put like a little logo patch on each jersey.
Of course.
Enough so you could see it.
Like I said with the football practice jerseys.
Right. I mean, the thing is that you don't have as big of jerseys in the NBA. Mm-hmm. Or even like a Verizon logo on the shorts. You know, like the team shorts. I'll be fine. Something small. Nothing big. Something small. Need to stay hot.
Let's just do the same.
Toronto and Atlanta start losing for us, please.
Toronto, please start losing.
Atlanta mostly lose for the love of God. Just lose already. Just lose.
Just Atlanta lose. Everybody lose.
Oh, Atlanta. But also go Michigan.
Yeah. No one cares about college basketball. No one won their $1 billion.
Well, that's not my fault. They didn't win. Actually, ESPN, after the Harvard one, that 5.7% of people who've done ESPN still had perfect brackets.
Oh, good for them.
So when they win $1 billion, good for them. And thank you to everybody who joined our league, by the way.
Yeah,
There's 13 people that joined. Thank you very much to them. But right now we're going to play a little more Division 1.1 Freak Show, and we'll be right back with Dani from Blue Line Station.
SNDPODCAST is in no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Basketball Association or any of its affiliates.
On the ice or in the stands, rep your team with the new Sons of Hockey apparel, a brand new design by a longtime player, coach, and diehard hockey fan. Check out their 2014 lineup, available in men's and women's for all you hockey supporters. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Sons of Hockey, or look for Sons of Hockey Clothing on Facebook. Come join the Sons of Hockey family and show the world why hockey is the best sport on the planet. Welcome back to episode 67 of the S&D Podcast Show on the Schmuck Sports Network. Once again, that was Division 1.1 with this week's song, Freak Show. Now we'd like to welcome back to the show Dani from Blue Line Station. What's going on, Dani?
Hey, Dani. How's it going?
Hey, guys. What's up? It's all good.
That's good. Well,
no more snow down there?
No more snow. It was like 70-some degrees today.
Before I steal her thunder, I want to say congratulations to Henrik Lundqvist on becoming the winningest goaltender for the New York Rangers with 302 wins as a New York Ranger. So
yes.
Congratulations to that. Played a game. They won 8-4. I turned off the game in the second period after they scored the 6th goal. So I was like, all right, the game's over. I get the notification. It was 8-4. I was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, it was like bloop, bloop, bloop. Because I couldn't tweet it fast enough. I was like, goal. Wait, goal. Wait,
yeah.
What?
It was definitely crazy, especially on the drought the Rangers have had as of late. to score 8 goals. You like save it for another game, maybe the next 2 nights against the Blue Jackets and the Devils back-to-back days. So when the Rangers get shut out one of these games, you know why. So
No, I mean, Brassard, he's back hot now. That was a 3-point game for him, and Zuccarello, I think, had at least 1 assist. I can't remember for certain if it was 1 or 2, but I know he had at least 1. So, and those 2 together, I mean, that's now that they're back on point streak, they'll be fine.
And as I mentioned in prior weeks, that Zuccarello is the spark plug to this season's Rangers team. You can tell when after Olympic break they were just sluggish because Zuccarello had a broken hand, and you could tell they were just very sluggish. And the minute Zuccarello came on the first shift, he was just being his pinball self, and just took it from there. One thing, speaking of the Hobbit, it would be really funny if they had Hagelin, him, and Martin St. Louis all in one line, even though that would never happen. That would be the funniest line of all time. It would be midget hockey.
Well, no, I don't think so. Hags is a little taller. Well, what I think would be funny is if you put Boiler in the middle of St. Louis and Zook.
Yeah. There was a picture, I think it was of the Boston Bruins bench that came out today, and it was like half of Chara, and then the rest of the team.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even Lucic? You'd have.
Oh, I only saw part of the bench.
Oh,
You only
okay.
saw like
Okay.
the front part of the bench. That was like right behind him, but he was like standing there. Usually he's on the ice for the
Yeah.
anthem, but nope.
True. Fair enough.
No, Lucic isn't quite as tall, is he?
He isn't
No,
as tall, but he's like
yeah.
6'5".
But he is pretty big.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but, yeah.
let's talk about Rangers. What do you think is going on with this huge cluster that's going on with the Metropolitan Division? Everybody's within striking distance of the final 2 spots of actually making the playoffs and not have to worry about the wild card spot.
It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly fast because I know. Well, the Rangers have, like you said, the Blue Jackets and the Devils, and then they have the Flyers Wednesday next week.
Yes.
So it's gonna be ugly for the next couple weeks. I mean, it's gonna be like you're gonna be watching one game and looking at the notifications for the other games because you're gonna be like, no, I need you to leave, and I need you to win, and I need you. Okay, it's okay if you go to overtime, but you have to still lose. I mean, it's gonna get nuts.
It is going to be nuts, and it's definitely going to be exciting because pretty much every team other than the Islanders are in it, pretty much.
Sabres.
In the Sabres. I meant in the
The
Metropolitan.
Sabres have mathematically been eliminated, by the way.
Well, I meant in the Metropolitan Division. So,
Okay, just the Mets.
yeah.
Got it.
By the way,
Okay.
while since we are talking hockey, there is one other congratulations that isn't a local.
Okay.
It's to Joe Quimble for his 700th, becoming only the 3rd NHL coach in history for 700 victories.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yep,
for that.
he did that last night, right?
Yeah, last night he did that. I believe they.
Yeah, I was
shut out the
screaming. I was screaming so hard at Chicago. I was like, "Why? Why couldn't you win the night before?"
But he joins Scotty Bowman and Al Arbor. Only 3 guys. I just wanted to
Tortorella.
make sure I got that in that. What?
Torts has 8. Didn't he hit 800 last year?
No.
I thought he did.
There's only 3 guys with 700.
I got to see what he hit then. He hit some weird number last year for wins.
Maybe 500 or 600, possibly.
It might have been minor league and NHL.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. He hit something.
Oh, that's like saying Hideki Matsui has 900 home runs because he played in China and in New York.
Right.
Well, Japan. Let's be politically correct, Steve.
Sorry.
Just in case we get Japanese listeners.
Asia.
Asia.
There we go. Problem solved.
All right. So Dani, since Dani's been writing on Blue Line Station, and right before the St. Louis trade, she actually had her genie skills and mentioned the St. Louis for Ryan Callahan deal. And she was one of the few people that liked the trade. Do you still like the trade right now, even though St. Louis hasn't really put up as many points as anybody's expected right now? He's just waiting to heat up right now for the clutchness. It's going to happen. But what do you think of the early side effects of the trade so far?
I think that I like the trade. I still like the trade. I did. I called the trade early, and I actually, instead of the draft picks, I said that we should send them Justin Falk. Yeah, that didn't work out, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately. Anyway, so I love that Marty St. Louis is here. I don't like that he went automatically up to play with Richie, because I get the whole, they played together in Tampa thing and they had chemistry and what have you. And people were trying to say right away, oh, look, they still got chemistry. No, they didn't. They really didn't. To be honest, that was St. Louis and Hags, which we talked about Hagelin last time I was on with you guys. Hagelin's fast. St. Louis is just as fast, and they could play well together. The place that I really like him is I like him where he is now with Brass and Zuccarello, because the creativity that Zook has and the creativity that Brass has, and now add St. Louis into that, they're all equally creative. And that line, it's been the hottest line since the lines got solidified. It's going to get hotter. You just have to give the three of them probably one more game. Marty was close. I could feel it coming in this last game. So it's coming. He's just got to get acclimated. He's bounced around a couple different lines. He's had some different partners here and there. So, of course, it takes a little longer to settle in. I know a lot of people look at the Ryan Callahan side and they're like, oh, look at all these points he's already got. Yeah, look who he's playing on lines with. He's on lines with Stamkos and Phil Pula. I mean, those guys are horses.
Pretty
so,
good.
Yeah. I mean, so he's just by default, he's going to end up getting points. And that's, if people are looking at it that way, then so be it. But you need to understand what you're looking at. I mean, Phil Pula, he's been with Detroit every season of his major league career, his professional career. He's been in the Detroit system, and I don't think there's been a season yet that he has not gone to a postseason. So with this being his first year in Tampa, I mean, he knows how to play playoff hockey all year long. I mean, so there's that. So people can just kind of forget about the whole Callahan thing because it's done. St. Louis, he's going to surprise people. He's got some time to get things settled out, and he will. As long as he stays on that line with Zook and Brass, that line is going to become powerful. There was a little scoring slump for Brass while Zook was out. Like you said, he's the spark plug, and I actually called that. And there's a piece written in early December on Blue Line that I wrote about Zuccarello that people gave me so much grief over.
Really? I'm kind of shocked about that, especially on how much of a crowd favorite he's been over the last couple of years.
No, he wasn't. A lot of people didn't like him.
Nobody really liked him when he played.
Yeah, they didn't like him because he was just this little guy that they never paid attention to. And that's kind of why I wrote the piece on him, because I like Zook. I liked him last year. I was really upset that he didn't stay. Even though I'm a huge Tortorella fan, doesn't mean I agree with everything that he did. I think sending Zook back over to Europe was not the right thing. But I think at the same time, we didn't exactly have the right place for him.
Exactly.
Even though he has the ability, as anyone who's watched him has seen, he's got the ability to play with anyone. I mean, he played online with Brian Boyle last year, and they were awesome together. He played online with Nash last year, and I mean, Nash didn't have too bad of a season last year, even though I don't really particularly care for him as a player. Zook just has that ability to mesh with wherever he is, and putting him with St. Louis, it's only going to make both of them better players and bring Brass up along with them. So,
by the way, we mentioned Tortorella. It's 400 wins he got last year. He's
400?
422 right now.
Okay.
Just thought I should let you know.
Okay. I know he's the winningest American-born coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with you with Zuccarello, like I mentioned a little bit before. And with St. Louis, he just missed a goal. He just missed his stick by inches last night, 2 nights ago, with the tip in. I forgot who scored. It might have been Bursard.
It was McDonough.
It was
McDonough.
Oh, yeah,
and he would have had the tip, except for whoever was checking him lifted his stick.
Yeah.
when they showed the replay because they were trying to figure out where it went, and you could just see his stick get lifted. So, but that's okay. He's getting a little closer, and he'll get there. He'll bust out, and then everybody will be like, "Oh, he's the greatest thing ever! I'm so glad we made this trade."
It's just a matter of time. It's gonna happen when no one least expects it, and it's gonna happen when the Rangers need it the most. I'm calling it right now.
Oh yeah, because that's what he is. He's clutch.
I still argue with a couple of people that I watch games with, and they're like, "Oh, Callahan, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "All right, just watch. He's gonna do it. He's just gonna break out. He doesn't. He's a goal scorer. He's gonna find a way." And the Rangers look completely different, and they look like more of a. It's kind of shocking. Everybody has picked up the pieces that Callahan leaving with the leadership role. And that's the one thing I'm really happy to see, because they could have easily crumbled at once trading their quote-unquote heart and soul captain. And you got to give credit to the Stalls and Girardis and all those guys for picking up the slack. So
the heart and soul captain that wanted an arm and a leg to stay.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's a business, and he's at the end of the day, hate to say it, but he's a third-line center when it comes all said and done with it.
Winger.
He's a third-line winger. Yeah. He's a great player, but he's not worth the money that he originally thought. And he finally realizes that. He mentioned it the other day, that he misses New York. So.
Well, and the thing is a lot of people are like, just pay the man. Okay, people didn't realize that he was only making like it was either 4.25 or 4.75, can't remember now. For under $5 million, and he wanted how much of a raise?
He wanted 8.
Exactly.
Is it 8, 7 or 8? Something in that range.
So,
he started up around 8, as I heard the rumors, and then he came down, and I think the last thing they got to was like 6.5. But still, $2 million raise. That's
4.275.
Hey, how about that?
That's good.
So, and that's the thing is that's a huge raise, and then you start looking at, okay, never in his career did he play a full season.
Exactly.
Never.
And he's had 2 injuries this year as well.
2, but he was out for 3 because of his shoulder.
Oh yeah, that's right. Good call. Yeah, he's had 3 injuries this year. You're right. So
technically, the shoulder wasn't this year. He just missed the first part.
Yeah, he got in the playoffs. Him and Hagelin got in the playoffs last year.
And I can say I've had that labrum surgery done, and it is not fun, and it takes a long time to bounce back from that.
Are you one of those Ranger fans that would welcome him back with open arms if the money goes down?
Of course.
Depends on what I have to give up to re-sign him.
Well, he would be a free agent.
But
you still got to make a spot for him.
Yeah.
You got to make a spot for him, and you got to figure out the salary cap. And we've got a lot of people to sign. So
are you buying out Richards?
Yes. Oh, was I supposed to think about that?
Yeah, for a little dramatic effect, but
I'm sorry.
We got the point.
There's a very simple. There's a very simple explanation to that, and if anybody who has read the CBA doesn't realize it, then they need to reread and think about what they're reading. The cap recapture. If you look at the length of the contract that Richie has and his age, he's not going to play until the end of his contract. And when he retires early, the Rangers are going to get raked over the coals. It's not a choice. They have to buy him out. It would have been smarter when they did all this negotiation, instead of putting buyouts in there, to do it as a contract renegotiation so that they could keep the players. Because now you buy them out, you can't get them back. They have to go somewhere else. So it wasn't exactly the smartest thing they could have done. But just because of the length of time on his contract, he has to be bought out. I would say Nash, because he's got a bigger dollar amount, but his years are limited, and he's not as old. That's the only thing that saves Nash.
Well, just keep in mind, the buyout doubles the years and cuts the money in half. It's the way the buyouts work.
Right.
So, I'm on capgeek.com right now, which is a great site for anybody who ever wants to check out a player's salary or anything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it only goes up to 2019, 2020, and then there are arrows for Brad Richards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of sixes in a row.
Yeah. I mean, he's pulling in almost like 6.6 something, almost $6.7 million.
6.666667.
Yeah. So we'll just say 6.7 because that's a lot of numbers. So, I mean, 6.7 mil, and I think he goes into like 2025 or something crazy like that.
I'm trying to get that for you right now. Running a little slowly.
Yeah, they have so much stuff on there that it does take a little while to shift. But that's okay because, it's good stuff to wait for.
All right, well, while we're waiting.
Actually, it ends in the 2019-2020 season is the last
Really?
year. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's better than I thought, but still, that's a long...
It's a long time.
It is. And Richie's, what, 33, 34?
33 right now.
Boom.
We'll be 34 in May.
Boom. I'm good. I'm on a roll.
Tonight.
You're on fire today. He took his Adderall today. Let's talk about the upcoming schedule for the Rangers. Like we mentioned earlier, they have the Columbus Blue Jackets on Friday night in Columbus. Then they come back home. Well, they're technically a road game, but we all know the Rangers fans are going to be packing the rock at the Prudential Center on Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
So you mean the home game in New Jersey?
Yeah, the home game.
It's like the Stadium Series,
Then they play Phoenix at home, Philly at home, and then the road trip in Calgary, and then Edmonton. So out of those games, what do you expect out of it? What's the record wise for that little stretch of games the next week and a half?
Oh, that's going to be tough because the Western Conference games, they're always hard. You never know what to expect. And, despite what a lot of people think, the Coyotes are not a bad team. They're not a bad team at all. I mean, look, even their fourth liner, Paul Bissonnette, he scored on Ryan Miller, first goal after he switched to St. Louis Blues. Just saying, that was awesome. It was hilarious. But anyway, I don't know. I hate trying to predict records because you never know what's going to happen. Someone could have like a breakout game, or something could happen where, like for example, Pouliot, he didn't go to Columbus with the rest of the team because he just had a baby girl be born. Yeah, I mean, I was at first I was like, wait, why Pouliot's in New York for personal reasons? What the heck's going on? And then they're like, oh, his daughter was born. It's like, oh, I didn't even know he was expecting a baby on the way or anything. So I mean, you never know what might happen. Something like that. It's like when Mark Stahl's little girl was born, and then he didn't sleep all night, and went and posted 2 or 3 points in the next game, something crazy like that. So. You never know. I think that the game against Phoenix is going to be really interesting, though. I don't know why. I just have gut feeling on that one. I think it's going to be interesting. Edmonton and Calgary. Edmonton's going to be interesting now that they have Victor Fast up there. They finally have a goaltender.
They also have, what's his name from LA? Scrivens.
Yeah, there's Scrivens, too. And I think they also got... Who else did they pick up? Someone else at trade. Where did Hendricks go? Matt Hendricks.
Oh, I forgot. I know. Ugh. I completely forgot where he went.
Did he go to Edmonton? I think he went to Edmonton. I can't remember. But they picked up somebody else in Edmonton because I was like, whoa, Edmonton. Yeah, because they traded Briz to the Predators in exchange for Hendricks and something else.
Yeah, Hendricks is on them.
Yeah, and he's not a bad player either. A lot of people don't give him credit for what he can do, but he's a tough cookie, that one. He was one of the ones, every time we played the Caps, I hated seeing him on the ice. It's like, no, just go sit down. So, I don't know. It's now that we've had all these roster moves and I'm still trying to get used to where everyone is, it's going to be interesting. Calgary is Calgary. I don't want to write them off, but I know we can beat them.
They're playing hot. They play tough.
Yeah, but they're just not goal-scoring team.
Right.
Kind of like the Rangers.
Right. They don't have a team. They were one of those teams that were looking to tank it.
Yeah, they were looking to tank it this year, right?
But what are they going to tank? Who are they going to send where?
Oh, nobody. Nobody wants anybody on that team.
Exactly. I mean, that's the problem that Calgary's got right now, and they've got Monahan, but he's like the only thing they had. So, and that wouldn't have gotten them enough at this point because he's a little too young to really bring in a lot. So, Calgary probably take that game. Edmonton will be a toss-up. That'll be tough. And of course, being out there, I might see it. I don't know. I don't know if I'll stay up. Then Columbus Columbus is always an interesting game, and the Flyers have been hot. So
yeah, the Rangers have 3 landmine games that could go either way, especially 2 of them being like rivalry games, and the other one with being in the division with Columbus. And Columbus has been a thorn in their side all year this year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting how the Rangers going to find ways to get the puck in front of the net for Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
Don't worry. When the Blue Jackets walk on Sunday, and I try and meet some of them, I'll trip a couple of them for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. But no, I mean,
promise I won't hit
Gabby's not there either anymore, though. Gabby went to LA, so that's one less guy.
They still have Dubinsky and Fedor Tutin.
I don't like Tutin very much.
Oh, breaking
Personal.
news: the Devils just won in overtime.
Oh, yuck. Oh, did you guys see, there was an article that one of the Jersey beat writers wrote about, because you brought up Henrik Lundqvist making, 302 career wins. So, of course, given the rivalry there, one of the Devils beat writers had to write up this article about how even though Hank got to win number 302, Marty Brodeur is still a better goalie than him because he doesn't have the shutout victories and this, that, and the other, and he got to his benchmark earlier than Henrik Lundqvist. Did you see that article?
I did not see that.
I did not. It's just typical Devil fan. Devil
Exactly.
being. It's just what it is.
I put a link to it in our daily links a couple days ago. Day before yesterday. Something like that.
Since we're being up here, we know that way too well. The Devils they're very bitter. They're more bitter than Islander fans.
Marty's the best thing since sliced bread. Don't you know that?
Whenever it comes with Marty, it's Marty.
And you know what? Like, that's how they all feel about it, and I know that. But how much of a slap in the face is it for him to, like, hold his bag off the bus because he wanted to move at the deadline? Like, if you're a Devils fan, how do you not take that as a huge slap in the face?
Well, he wants to win another cup.
Okay,
That's his thing.
but
I tell you
still.
what, Sam, but you know what? He should be retiring a Devil.
I mean, and that's just the thing, though. Who cares if Corey Schneider plays more games? I mean, there's going to be a point where you got to bring up the next Tendy. I mean, look at what happened with Kevin Weeks and Hank. I mean, you got to have that crossover time, that turnover time. I mean, and Weeks was a Devil, so he was just being selfish, I think, right there. And I know people are going to scream at me on Twitter later and whatever. I don't care. If I was a Devils fan and my goal and Brodeur did that, I would just be like, you know what? Forget you. I get that you want to win a cup, but then I look at guys like Ray Bourque, who never won a cup with their team. They played their whole career, and the team went to him and said, hey, we're going to trade you because we want you to win a cup, and he didn't want to go. I have a lot more respect for that than someone who's like, I want to leave, I want a cup. Thanks for everything you did for me, I don't give a crap, I just want to leave and get a cup. I don't know, that's just me, though.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I think he really should. It's all about pride, but honestly, he should just suck it up for the remaining of his career, being a Devil for his career.
Then again, he's also the guy who slept with his wife's sister.
Yeah.
And he's Uncle Daddy.
Yeah, Uncle Daddy. How do you have that conversation?
You don't.
I mean, what do you say? You pull all your kids in a room together and be like, okay, so you're cousins, but now you're step siblings. What? Oh, I don't know.
Whatever. More presents.
Yeah.
I expect an uncle present and a father present.
I mean, oh, that's just, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that says a lot about, anyway, won't go there.
Good call. Any bold predictions for any players who you want or are excited to see to step up in the stretch run to make the playoffs?
I don't know. I mean, it's outside of the Metropolitan. I think it's pretty well. I don't think there's anybody really fighting for anything. Now, what is getting interesting is the Western Conference over there with Anaheim and Chicago.
St. Louis.
Yeah, like that's getting interesting. In San Jose now, they're picking it up because they're hot right now. And actually,
they haven't lost, I think, in the month. Maybe
Yeah.
have one loss.
Yeah, I mean, San Jose's on a real hot streak. And then you got San Jose, Anaheim, that game. So, I don't know. That's going to be really interesting to see how that works out. But it's kind of funny because the Ducks kind of remind me of a Western Conference Penguins team. They start out hot, and then they just kind of slowly go downhill from there.
It'll be very interesting to see what happens with Hiller at the end of the year.
You know what? To be honest, they don't have to re-sign him. It's going to stink for them to not be able to move him for anything. But in actuality, they need defensemen, but not so badly that it's dire. They can afford to just let him walk because they've got two goalies coming up behind him who are just absolutely disgustingly good. Freddie Anderson's there now, and coming up behind Freddie is John Gibson, who, for those who are not minor league hockey fans, let me just tell you right now, John Gibson runs a clinic every time he gets on the ice. I've seen him play a lot, and it's just, anyone who's a World Juniors fan, he's the U.S. goaltender from the year before that, like not this past World Juniors, but the one before in Germany where the U.S. won gold. He's just absolutely freaking phenomenal, and he's only 20 years old right now, but he'll be NHL ready. I give him at most another year.
Well, he was a big name because, especially up here, because one of the big rumors with Vanek was that the Islanders wanted him for Vanek. And that's why Vanek isn't a Duck right now, because the Ducks didn't want to give him up.
No, they're not going to move him. Because I said early in the year, I said one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to keep the three goalies that they have and move Gibson, or they're going to keep Gibson and shift everybody else out. And there's going to come a point where it's probably in 2 years, Gibson's going to take over as the number one in Anaheim. They're probably going to move Freddie just for the simple fact that Freddie's better. Freddie Anderson, he's better than a backup goaltender, but he's not going to be better than Gibson. And I love Freddie Anderson to pieces. I mean, I've watched him play for a while too. So I absolutely love him to pieces, but he's going to end up moving just for the simple fact that he's worth more than a backup goaltender, but John Gibson is going to be the number one. And he's going to be a franchise goaltender for Anaheim.
All right, fair enough. That's definitely going to be interesting. Do you want to plug anything for Blue Line Station? Any big articles coming up, or just want to have everybody keep on reading as always?
Well, I mean, keep on reading as always. We've got some things that we've been talking about some historical Madison Square Garden pieces. So we'll let everybody know when those are coming, because we're getting our facts right and we're getting our interviews done. So those are going to be pretty exciting. But I don't want to give away too much about that just yet.
Alrighty. BlueLineStation.com at saucy_C.
Yes, that's me.
At Blue Line Station.
Blue Line Station.
Blue Line Station on Facebook as well.
Yes.
So check all that out. And thank you, Dani.
Thank you, Dani, for coming on.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you guys for letting me come on again.
No
No
problem.
problems. Hopefully we'll have you on before the playoffs.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a good one, Dani.
Thanks, you too.
S&D Podcast is no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Hockey League or any of its affiliates.
Welcome back to episode 67 of the S&D Podcast show on the Schmuck Sports Network. This week on iTunes, it will say 67.
Okay.
Promise.
All right, cool. I wanted to kill you both times last 2 weeks. I was like, I know he does it late, but sometimes it's like, Steve, it's just one number. Anyway, we had an awesome show tonight. Thank you, Dani, for coming on, talking a little puck with us, especially with the Rangers in a thick playoff race right now for the Metropolitan Division.
I'm very happy with the Islanders holding their fort down at the bottom.
Typical thing. Anyway, the moment everybody's been waiting for. Steve, hit the drum roll, please.
All right, everybody. So Dan and I have officially decided that it is time to expand the S&D Podcast, and we would like to introduce to you, being launched on Monday, the SNDSportsblog.com.
Yes.
So make sure to check that out.
Absolutely. Check it out. We're going to have sports blogs where we have a team set up ready to go. We have all their articles ready to go for Monday, ready for launch on Monday. I'm going to be the Giants guy, beat guy. Steve's going to take care of the Islanders. And Steve, take it away with our new team of writers.
All right, let's start off with the furthest away. Dan himself is going to be our Giants writer, who I know is working on a Justin Tuck article as we speak. My friend Chris Doran will be joining us. He will be our Jet guy. You can find him on Twitter at JT's Helmet Hair or at 12fives. Spell the word 12, spell out the word fives. For the Mets, we have Vinman. Bring in Vin. Very lucky to have him. Big, huge Met fan. Follow him at Vinman626. For the Yankees, T-Bone. T-Bone. You could follow him at T-Bone. I forgot the numbers. T-Bone 315 92. That is right. I knew that. I was testing you. I had to make sure you knew.
Okay. For our baseball, fantasy baseball, and all overall baseball, I have our good friend Joe Forelli. You can find him at Joe for the number 4 LE. Joe Forelli. Nice play on his last name. So.
And I will personally be doing the Islander writing. So make
luck
sure
with
you
that.
write. Check out the site, SNDSportsblog.com. It'll be launching Monday. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, every place else. To keep up so you know that it will be posted and launched.
Absolutely. So we'd love to have everybody's feedback. I know we're going to be tweeting it up the storm with all the articles that are coming out. I know everybody's been working hard being on the thread for the emails this week. It's been absolutely awesome, and I can't wait for everybody else to see the hard work that everybody's doing with it. So without further ado, thanks for everybody for checking out tonight's show. Thank you, Dani, for coming on. You can check her out on BlueLineStation.com and on Twitter at saucy_C for all the Ranger updates and everything.
Don't forget, at Blue Line Station.
And, of course, at Blue Line Station.
Don't forget. Well. Also, on the website, there will be a supporters page. You can find her website, the Blue Line Station, as well as Eyes on Isles and their podcast, the Dump and Chase podcast. There is a link on there for that as well.
Of course.
Of course, Division 1.1 is on there as well. Make sure you check them out. I know it's coming up soon. They got a show coming up where they're going to be introducing a lot of new music.
Awesome. Can't wait for that.
So, once again, thank you to them. Dani, check out Eyes on Isles as well. Don't forget, SNDSportsblog.com. See you guys next week.
See you next week. Bye.